I've created the perfect striker in Football Manager 2022. 20 out of 20 for all in-game attributes, 20 out of 20 for all hidden attributes, and a current ability of 200 and a potential ability of 200 as well. I've set the player to be 15 years old and put him at the closest playable non-league club to where I live, which is Boston United, and we're going to simulate this player's career and see all of his moves and what he does. I've actually based the player on me. The player is called TomFM. You should be able to see the resemblance. On paper, this striker should be able to absolutely trounce other strikers like Kylian Mbappe and Erling Haaland, but we'll find out what happens in-game and if he can actually overcome those two powerhouses of real life. So without further ado, let's get into this one. So to kick things off, we've jumped 2 seasons into the future because this is when the contract that I set for this player expires. And as you can see, there's a month left on the contract and Liverpool, Man City, Newcastle and Wolves are all interested. I'll be honest, I'm surprised he's not already moved on from Boston. 2 seasons seems pretty impressive to actually stay at the club. And actually, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit underwhelmed by the player's stats right now. In season 1, 31 goals in 31 appearances. Season 2, 30 goals in 37 appearances. Honestly, I expected more. I mean, we're literally talking about the perfect player and we've put them in non-league. Like, surely they should be getting 50 goals plus easily. Now I know a lot of it might actually be to do with the quality of teammates not being good enough to provide the quality chances for this player to score all the goals, but still it feels a little bit low. Although we have seen from National League North to the National League, I would assume that this striker has carried them to promotion. Actually, double promotion. The season that's just happened in the National League, Boston came second but won the playoffs 3-0 against Scunthorpe, so congratulations Boston, you're in League 2. Interestingly enough, despite being the greatest player that's ever lived, they're not actually in the England national team yet. They're on the under-21 team, 10 appearances, 19 goals, which is pretty decent. That's a pretty decent ratio, but somehow not in the national team. I'm sure that will change very soon, but let's jump forward into the future to see where this player ends up and how they get on. But before we do that, make sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new around here, and leave a comment down below letting me know what other experiments and guides you want to see in FM22. So I've jumped to season 5 of this experiment because it would make sense that after leaving Boston, a 3-year contract at another club would make sense. So we could be at the point where this player is moving on from their second club. We saw that Liverpool, Newcastle, Man City and Wolves were interested in this player, and he ended up at Liverpool, interestingly. He's actually stayed at Liverpool and has a long-term contract until 2030 on nearly £500,000 a week. Now, this is what I was expecting. This is what I was expecting to see. The greatest player of all time at a top club with big wages and actually playing for the England team. So 3 full seasons in the Premier League, and I'll be honest, I genuinely feel this is quite rubbish. 28 appearances, 16 goals, 26 appearances, 19 goals, 32 appearances, 18 goals. I mean, this is what you would expect from your standard, main striker at your Premier League club. A 20 goal a season striker. Not even 20 goals. Why? Now, despite the lack of goals, I suppose, he has actually won quite a lot of stuff at Liverpool. The FA Cup, the Community Shield, the Carabao Cup runners-up, Premier League champions, FA Cup winners, Champions League winners, UEFA Nations League winner with England, FIFA Club World Cup winner, Community Shield runners-up, and UEFA Super Cup winner. So quite a lot of team awards. If we look at the actual individual awards, wow, there's a lot of them. Now, there are a lot of awards to go through, but the biggest one this guy seems to have won so far is 3 FIFA Under-21 Player of the Year awards in a row, which is pretty impressive. However, we are not seeing any success yet at the Balon D'Or sort of level, and it's not surprising actually because the goal-scoring returns have not been as good as the ones of Haaland, Lewandowski and Salah. Mbappe's actually won 2 of them as well. His first one at 24, Haaland's first one at 25, so that's what this striker needs to beat. But I am surprised at the lack of goals, so hopefully that will be rectified in the future. Now, he is only still 20 years old, and ordinarily would say, well, at 20 years old, they're still developing, but there's nothing else to develop on this player, like literally the perfect player. So we're going to jump to season 10, which is 2031. This player will now be 25 years old, the same age as Haaland when he won his first Balon d'Or in-game, and his contract at Liverpool will have finished. Has he moved on or signed new contracts at Liverpool? Well, we're going to find out. The answer is a new contract at Liverpool on less money per week as well. Clearly not a great negotiator. So in season 6, we saw 21 appearances and 10 goals. I'm going to assume there was some sort of big injury or just terrible form and was just never selected, which is really bizarre. I suppose it was an injury because the season afterwards, only 25 appearances and 19 goals, which is a much better return. The season afterwards, 29 appearances, 21 goals, 32 and 24, 31 and 24. So we're getting better with the goals, but it's still not enough for me. I mean, in all competitions, it's 33, 38, 31, 29, 13, which, I'll be honest, I've seen strikers do a lot better, like 30, 40, 50 goals a season. I like the idea, though, that this player is carrying England, because England won the World Cup in 2026, which is very interesting. If we look at the awards of that World Cup, I assume must have been the top goal scorer. Golden Boot, yes, got the most amount of goals in that tournament, but weirdly not in the 2030, not even in the, or third in the 2030 World Cup, 8 goals there, but beaten by Ansu Fati and Victor Osimhen. That's bizarre. And then has gone on to win another FA Cup, another Community Shield and a Carabao Cup, but no more Premier Leagues or Champions Leagues. Now, in terms of individual awards, at the age of 25, this player has not gone on to win a single Balon D'Or. In fact, Kylian Mbappe has gone on to win all 5 of them since we were last here. Wow. So Mbappe now has 7 Ballon d'Ors, Erling Haaland's got 1, and our man TomFM has got 0, despite being literally the best player in the world in terms of absolutely every attribute. Now playing at Real Madrid as well, Kylian Mbappe is just scoring goals for fun, just getting plenty more goals than our striker. Although this season, we got more goals than Mbappe, but more assists. This feels harsh, actually. I feel like TomFM should have won it in 2029. 2028 second, despite more goals and assists. Oh, this is really harsh. TomFM should have won quite a few Ballon d'Ors by this point, although wasn't in the top 3 in 27 or in 26. So 2 second places and a third in the Ballon d'Or. But Mbappe is beating him somehow. Okay, let's jump another 5 years into the future, where TomFM is now 30 years old. Interestingly, TomFM is still at Liverpool. The whole career has been spent at Liverpool, other than those early days, obviously, at Boston. That's rather interesting. He's suspended for quite a few games because of a red card. Not very good. Still on £400,000 per week, but is valued between 135 and 400 million. Quite the range there. Also 105 caps for England and 117 goals. That is absolutely mental. What about the goal scoring record though for Liverpool? And it's still not particularly brilliant, if I'm honest with you. 16 goals, 17 goals, 18 goals, 10 goals. Is that it? 20 in the entire season and then 25 the season after that. I am shocked at how low his goal tallies are. Interestingly, despite having Freeze attributes turned on, bravery and off the ball is going down a little bit. That's bizarre. Still at 200 current ability though, which is absolutely fine. That's exactly what this player needs to be. Since last time, they have gone on to win a couple more things. Champions Leagues in 2031 and 2032, which is pretty impressive. And the European Championships in 2032. Premier Leagues have been won in 2033, as well as the European South American Super Cup runners-up, actually, not winners. FIFA Club World Cup runners-up. They won another Premier League in 2034, UEFA Nations League in 2035, and the FA Cup in 2036. So Liverpool back to winning a few things, but still nothing monumental. And finally, we have seen a couple of Ballon d'Ors sneaking in there for TomFM. Won it in 2031 and 2034, but Haaland has also won 2, which brings his total to 3. So 3 for Haaland, 7 for Mbappe, and just the 2 for TomFM. 1 actually for Benjamin Šeško, interestingly. Now the good news is Šeško, Vlahovic, Mbappe, Haaland are all going to retire before TomFM retires, so hopefully we'll see a few more come through. This time though, we're going to jump to the very last season that TomFM plays before he retires in 2044, so 23 seasons playing football. At the ripe old age of 35, TomFM's made 180 caps for England, scoring 216 goals. Pretty impressive. But again, not particularly impressive goal scoring tallies. 11, 14, 14, 14, 19, 18, 24, 25. Now weirdly, his final season as a professional player was his biggest goal tally in the Premier League. Oh no, joint actually with 20, 35, 36. I do beg your pardon there. A few 24s are in there, but 25 is right up there. And actually with 13 assists, that is the biggest goal scoring season, I'll argue. The season beforehand, actually, 20 assists with the 24 goals. That might be the most impressive season. So in his time at the club, he's gone on to win the 2025, 31, 32 and 39 Champions League, the 25, 33, 34, 43 and 44 Premier League, the 2025 FIFA World Cup, the 25, 31 and 32 Super Cup, the 25, 29, 36, 39 and 44 FA Cup, and for good measure, the 2036 Europa Conference League 2. And he's gone on to win another 1, 2, 3, 4 Balon D'Ors. I feel like that's a little bit more justified. That only brings the total to 6 though, not as many as Kylian Mbappe or Lionel Messi. Now, let's not get into any debate as to who the actual real world best player in the world is. TomFM genuinely is the best player in the world on paper stat-wise. Like, should have won the Balon d'Or every single season based on the in-game attributes. But what we found today I think is really interesting, that despite having the best attributes, perfect absolutely everything, they're not perfect in game still. So I'm not quite sure where that leaves us. What does that actually mean? I mean, for me, it's making me think that actually, no matter what I do in game, it's always going to be just a random number generator. And to a certain extent, what we do influences the game. But I feel like this is sort of proving that, no, whatever you do is just random, and it doesn't really have much of an influence. TomFM has also cleaned up with 1, 2, 3, 4 FIFA Best Men's Player Awards. If we look at the under 21, actually went on to win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row. The FIFA Pro Player of the Year Award, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those awards were given to, and actually I've just realised TomFM was playing with Erling Haaland at Liverpool at the same time. That might go some way to actually explain why there weren't that many goals scored in those few seasons. I guess maybe TomFM was the deep lying forward to the advanced forward of Haaland, and cleaned up with 7 Goal 50 awards. So not entirely sure what we've kind of learnt from this, other than the best player in the world ever, the perfect player in Football Manager, isn't the best player in the world all the time. Like, obviously did win quite a few awards, but it wasn't every single season as I would have predicted based on the in-game attributes. Oh, and an absolutely perfect way to end off today's episode. My team, Lincoln City, have just won promotion to the Championship. Fantastic. At least I've only got to wait another 20 years for that. So thank you very much for watching today's video. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. And of course, if you have done, make sure you drop a like on the video for me. Subscribe if you're new around here, and leave a comment down below for the YouTube algorithm. Let me know exactly what you're going to be seeing from a channel in the next few days or so, and I'll make sure we get a few videos out for that. Until next time, have a good one. Goodbye.